Tell them to subscribe, Lukian.
Please subscribe.
Tell them to get me to 1,000 subscribers at least.
We're so close to 1,000 subscribers.
How close are we? Let me put you on the spot. How close are we? One subscriber, how many counts do you think I'm
We're getting there. We're close, right?
This is such a lawyer answer. You don't want to give me a number.
It depends.
Don't say it depends. At this point, we're at 366. For the last 3 years, you guys.
366?
366. At least at the time of filming this video. So
that's like, how many? 1,000?
I can't. I'm trying to be a lawyer, not a mathematician. So
we're close.
We're close by
you might be the difference.
You might be.
Press the button, bro.
Yes.
I'm talking about you right there.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Thank you. All right. So in today's...
I'm waiting. Oh, there we go. They did it. They finally did it.
Thank you. I'm literally going to cut this part and put it for every subsequent video that I have. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl here, Ella. Yay! I am a GPLM candidate at the University of Toronto and I am on my legal journey to become a lawyer out here in Ontario. With me here is Lukian. Yay! Again! Yay!
Hi.
If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Remember to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I post my videos, and leave us a comment whilst watching or at the end if you have any questions or comments in general. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how we attended criminal trial back in the month of February. We were literally court people at that point in time, going every time to court.
Yes, we didn't have a life at that
We didn't have a life. We're getting recognized like, oh, they've come again.
It's like, do you have a life?
Why are you here?
What are you doing?
I know. So, but we had a great experience, and Lukian is going to be talking about, I'm going to be asking him questions of what his experience was like, and I'll talk about mine later on for you all. So, February 2026, we received this information that, oh, there's a trial coming up, criminal trial, blah, blah, blah. Who wants to go watch it? And we said, okay, let's go. Good morning, everyone. I am on my way downtown to the courthouse to watch a criminal trial. The presiding judge is my criminal law professor, Professor Rita Maxwell, but today she is Justice Maxwell. Downtown Toronto, it's so cold. It's like minus 20 degrees today. And I haven't been to this courthouse since 2018. So let's go and see how much I can document this process for you all. The recurring theme I keep hearing about is the fact that it's advisable for law students to go to court and visit. I'm just watching my surroundings because I don't want anyone following me. That's weird. So, yeah, I'm trying to do that today. Go to court as a Masters of Law candidate and watch and see a criminal trial from the beginning. Let's see how much I can follow. It's so cold today. Oh my God. Okay. That is the courthouse. That is a courthouse, you guys. There are some icy steps to the courthouse. Icy. Ooh. It's my first time coming here in the winter. I think I've only been here in the summertime before. But yeah, I have to go find my classmates because we are the ones doing this together. Yay. It's a court girly. Superior Courthouse. I need to take a picture here too. 1. You get lost on your first day. I guess we can ask someone. We are going to look for the criminal division. Court girly. Guys, there's so many lawyers here. Lukian, say hello. So we found where we're supposed to be going to. 2-1. This is a sport. If it starts at 10, don't they like close the doors? Go ahead. It's like so he doesn't want to touch it. You guys, we need to take a picture. You guys, this is the Superior Court of Justice. Yes, my dear.
Inside of the Staples, right?
Right. Sorry, I'm supposed to be directing the way, but yeah. Lawyers are having their case files in that thing. Oh. So we're gonna get coffee. It's recess time, and we get 1 hour. So we'll be back at 11:45. coffee shop. Yay! So when you get into the courthouse, security checks you in as though you're in an airport, obviously checking for what you have in the bag. And then you have to go and find the judge's courtroom, wherever you're supposed to be at, and quietly walk in. There was a lot of bowing downs when the judge entered, but obviously I can't film that for you all. So if you ever want to come see your case, then you can see for yourself. Going back after recess, did you have any expectations of going to watch this trial? Like, I know you've watched the trial before in the UK, so
yeah. So
like?
for people who aren't watching all of the video, who didn't watch the previous video,
yes,
the only reason I pursued law was to become a criminal lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something I was meaning to go do,
Mm-hmm.
just to learn. There's like, what's one thing to be in the classroom and be taught the law, but like you got to actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
To know, like, oh, can I see myself doing this, and
Mm-hmm.
is this something I think I can do, and would I be good at it,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So yes, it was something I was wanting to do. I actually did a lot of it in the UK. I went a few times.
In Birmingham to go
in
watch.
Birmingham.
Was it criminal trials as well?
Yeah, I went to what's it called, the Crown Court.
I never went, so I don't know.
I went there a few times. I just walk up to the front desk. Oh, what's going on here today? Oh, there's a fucking stabbing down the street, down on the second floor. Birmingham. There was a few stabbings. Go figure. So yeah, I went to a few. So I was curious to kind of see the difference.
Okay.
But like, so yeah, when someone mentioned it in the group,
Yeah.
oh well, this is a great opportunity. I want to
Mhm.
go see. It's easier to go with other people.
Yes.
So.
Were you going alone in the UK?
Once or twice, but I did go like with people
Couple of
before.
people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so did you have any expectations then? And sorry I didn't introduce who Lukian was because I did in my previous video, but Lukian is also a GPLM candidate at the University of Toronto. We also schooled at University of Birmingham, so watch the previous video to know more about Lukian and then come watch this one. I think I'll post it up there. Yeah, if not there, anywhere. But yeah, so did you have any expectations going to watch this criminal law trial? Heck, we didn't even know what the case was about.
No.
So like, how was that
I
experience like for you? Just when we walked into the courtroom, not knowing where to go and who was on trial and all that.
It's a little different. In the UK, like they're very more strict about when you can enter and when you can't.
Yes.
In Canada, they're just like they don't care. You just so that was kind of jarring for me. I was like, do we just go in? There's a point where we're just awkwardly standing at the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then the defense counsel pulls up. She's like, is the door locked or something?
Yes.
And we're just like a bunch of idiots, like, it's our first time. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So that was a little embarrassing, but yeah, no, it was fairly similar.
Okay.
Fairly similar.
Okay. And we ended up knowing what the trial was about. It was a robbery case or whatnot. And so what was your most memorable moments during that trial? What was something that shocked you? So for example, I'll give you time to think. For me, it was when we went in and then people had to start bowing down.
Or the phrase.
And the phrase, oh ye. Oh ye, welcome, come before the king's court.
You almost started laughing. I
almost started
like, who the fuck is this? I don't know this woman. I was like, I don't know this woman.
I was like, what is going on?
Breaking our cool.
I was like, what is this all year? Why are we all bowing? Come before the king's court. Oh God. It felt like we were in the 1800s.
At least they don't have the wigs. They don't have the wigs.
No, they don't have the wigs.
The fucking rug.
Did they have the wigs in the UK?
They do, yeah.
Oh, even the lawyers, the barristers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The rugs.
No, that was a shocking and most memorable moment for me. So, I would literally go to the court anytime just to hear that announcement. I'm going to find it actually. But tell us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more of an academic because I'm a very serious individual.
Oh, yes.
I really enjoyed the jury selection.
Yeah, we got to see that.
It wasn't really the trial. It was kind of like outside of the trial.
Mm-hmm.
But just watching that whole process, there was at least 95 people that came into one of the bigger
96.
96.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, so that was cool. Just seeing them draw a random draw, then they would individually bring them in, ask the same 2 questions. Just watching people kind of respond to the same question differently.
Yeah.
Some people did a little too much,
No.
which I don't blame. I'm not quite sure how I would,
Respond to that.
on the spotlight, and you're pretty much being, are you a racist or stuff like that. So it's like,
Yeah.
some people,
I mean, they didn't ask them directly.
No,
are you a
no,
racist?
but
But I know
it's
what
like-
you mean. I know what you mean.
some of the questions were like that because it's very,
Yeah,
you
like,
be-
would you be biased? And somebody said yes, and then the judge was like,
Huh?
you will?
it's just like, oh,
I was like, no, I meant no.
So yeah, like obviously, like it was
Oh, I have the statement. Can I read it? Can I
Yeah,
read
yeah,
it?
yeah.
So it's, O yees, anyone having business before the King Justice of the Superior Court of Justice, attend now and you shall be heard. Long live the King. I almost lost it. Oh God, it's still funny. I'm sorry.
oh, ye.
Oh yees. I'm gonna post it. Oh yees. Why are we still doing this? I'm sorry. This is why they can't take younger generation seriously. Okay, I'm gonna behave. Yes, we're talking about the
So that
jury
was my
selection.
answer. I think the jury selection, yeah.
Okay,
To
that's
answer your
good.
question.
That's good. That's good. So today was day 1 of the criminal trial. The accused is on trial for robbery, and we couldn't do as much today because the person wasn't feeling well. The accused wasn't feeling well, so we adjourned like past 1 p.m. and both counsels, so the Crown and the criminal defense lawyer, were going back and forth about a possible alibi. The Crown is saying, "Oh, this is what the criminal defense lawyer is submitting before the court looks like an alibi," but the criminal defense lawyer, they're saying it's not really an alibi. So they were going back and forth on that today. But we got to also see the background of the story. I think it's a jewelry store robbery. If you live in Toronto, the GTA in general, you see that over the years there's been a lot of robberies, breaking into jewelry stores, and looks like someone's on trial for one of those cases between the city of Scarborough and Mississauga. So that's pretty much it for today. Tomorrow is the jury selection process, and it's my first time going to go watch it. I didn't know that this whole thing would be a daily situation of me going to court. But apparently that's what it's going to be, and that's fine because, hey, more content for you all and more things for me to learn as I'm going along the way. Special shout out to my course mate, Dalila, who informed us about the proceedings today. Shout out to my criminal law professor, or should I say Justice Rita Maxwell. It was really, really great. She spoke to us after she adjourned the court. There was a court officer there. I can't remember his name. Is it Salvatio? Oh my God, I thought I would remember. But he was there, and he was the one that alerted the deputy judge, who then informed the judge that we wanted to speak with her, being that we are UofT students. And they were like, "Oh, we didn't know that Justice Maxwell taught at UofT and whatnot." So she came out, we asked her questions, myself, Lakia, Mudassar, and Dalila. We asked questions about the whole process just to get clarity, so where the jury would sit. They explained the whole sitting situation, the court process, and the court officer was also gracious enough to explain the jury selection process even way ahead of tomorrow as well. So it's really, really good. They're really nice to students. If you just go in there to watch trial, for trials that are open to the public, they will let you know if you have any questions to ask, and points to you if you already know the judge, so you can hey ask. This is why I love UofT. Oh my God. But yeah, it was good to see criminal law in practice. I can't wait to go back tomorrow. Looks like it's going to be a full week of court activities, but I have to see how to balance my schedule because I'm really interested in the jury selection process. And I know my professional responsibility professor, Rebecca Durkin, had suggested that if anyone has the chance, going to court, watch the whole trial process, and if you get a chance to watch the jury selection process, get a hang of it as well, because obviously once you become a counsel and whatnot, you would never become a jury member. Like, you will never get selected for jury duty. There are specific categories of people that can never be jury members. So let's see how this whole week pans out. You're going to watch with me as it all unfolds. Obviously, there are many places at the Superior Court of Justice that I am not able to film, so I'm just telling you by word of mouth what my experience was like. But if you're in Toronto or maybe any any city out here in Ontario or Canada at large, you can look for your criminal division in your city, your province, and check for trials that are open to the public and try to attend one if you get the chance, because it's a different process looking at criminal law in practice as opposed to being in a lecture hall for 6 hours. So this is a monologue, 4 minutes. Okay, let's wait. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'm giving you all premium content behind the scene. There's nobody that is doing what we're doing on this channel. So what are you doing? Subscribe, like, leave me a comment on your favorite part of this video. Tell me what you've learned. Turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a video as well. So swipe to the next scene. Court day 3. It is day 3, and today is the day that the judge will address the jury, selected members of the jury, and then the Crown will give, his opening statement, call out the witnesses, and all that jazz. So we're gonna see it today. It's snowing today, and I don't know why. I mean, yes, it's still February, but nothing on the weather app spoke about snow. Why is it still snowing? I thought we were over that already. Thick snow, by the way, thick snow. Snow wants to mess with my hair and makeup. This beauty is standard. So you want to practice criminal law. Obviously you said this in our previous video where you
Which you should have watched.
Yeah, we should have watched. Yeah. And we spoke about your journey to law and how has attending the trial here in Canada helped with that process of giving you more practical knowledge of criminal law as an area where you want to be in.
I think in general, just seeing, there's definitely I definitely have a little imposter syndrome coming here. Just in general, obviously being internationally trained, trying to find my place here in Canada. Can I do this? You know what I mean? Is this, for me? So seeing it, in live reality. And seeing actual lawyers just doing it.
Seeing how you're going to be bowing in the future.
It's one thing to just, it's one thing to learn it in the classroom. It's another thing to see it. But just seeing them do it, they're very human. These are just humans. Regular people doing this, and I'm okay. Not only am I not bored by all this, some rather kind of boring stuff. I was actually always interested in it, which was a good sign for me. Is like, okay, no, I could see myself doing this. This is interesting to me, but also I know I can do that. So that was important for me. I think the biggest takeaway for me was gaining confidence.
Okay.
And kind of getting rid of that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, because we're able to speak with the Crown on one of the days where we're really
just outside in the hall. People are easy to talk to, right?
Like people that we would naturally never see or have the opportunity to have a random conversation with. But because you've been coming to this courthouse and they too are curious, why are these people here? so you just pick up a conversation because they couldn't understand why we kept coming back.
No.
And we had nothing to do with the trial.
No, I wonder if part of me was
You're still thinking about what they're thinking? No? If someone wants to go watch a criminal law or any type of trial right now, what tips would you have for them on some realistic things that they should expect? So, for example, beyond the funny, it's not funny because someone's life is on the line, but it's serious, there's a whole machinery that does this whole criminal law system. There's the deputy justice, there's the judge, there's the court clerks, there's the reporter, there's the defense lawyer, there's the Crown, there's the person on trial, there are the witnesses. A lot of things goes on into a trial. Even going into the Superior Court of Justice, it feels like you're going to an airport because you have to go through the whole security process thing, and then they get to recognize. I don't know. They recognize me.
They recognize you. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying this. But what tips would you have for people who are going and for something that they have to expect? If you want examples, I have examples off the top of my head and I can shoot that out.
Yeah, when you start, go ahead.
So, for example, we didn't have class during the week, so we could go for this trial. And we're not yet working full time, so we could still attend this trial. So going there, for me, coming from a farther distance, is going to cost you money to go to get to the court. If you're spending full days, there's no a strict schedule. So you're going to have to buy lunch.
They do
and come back. So just that realistic experience of what people should expect.
Yeah. I mean, they have the recesses, the morning recess, the lunch break, and the evening. But it's difficult, right? Because you're not the public, you don't know what's happening in what court. You just see you go to the
board, and you see the person on trial, but
it says the room and the accused name, but like you don't know the charges or who's presiding the case. Or anything. So like you kind of just have to show up, unfortunately, and just walk into a room. It's a good learning experience just to see how lawyers present themselves. And you can kind of learn from them. Some not so good and some better, and you can kind of, I mean, if it's in general, like if it's a murder, like a homicide case, like these lawyers are quite good. They're going to be good. So you can kind of like, you know,
watch their style.
Take that with a grain of salt. Like, okay, like I'm seeing a homicide case. These two probably know what they're doing and they're doing it well. So yeah, you can kind of learn from that and better prepare yourself.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today and like shooting these 2 videos with me, Luki, and for talking about your trial experience and your experience in general on your journey to law. I wish you so much success and may something click. May you get the articling positions that you want and do all the networkings that you need to get to where you need to get to. So thank you so much for being here. If you've watched this video up until this point, you can stay tuned because I will share my own experience later on. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm going to be talking about my own personal experience of watching a criminal trial, specifically a jury trial, for the first time, and go through it on a day-by-day basis. So on the first day, we've already learned from Lukian's experience, who we were speaking to earlier. The next day, we started off with the jury selection process, like Lukian said, 96 jurors, and the whole process of asking questions and process of elimination as a group-wide before narrowing people down to 14 jurors, so made up of 12 people and 2 alternate jurors. And before the trial, which started the next day on day 3, there was then a total of 12 jurors that was secured for the trial. So in terms of jury selection, the judge started with the opening statement telling jurors about the importance of jury duty to every citizen of Canada, what that really means, what they're required to do, and all of that good stuff. Just telling lay people what they're getting themselves into when they bring someone for jury duty. And that was really, really a wonderful experience to have. So if you have opportunity to ever sit down and watch a jury selection process, take advantage of that. During that time, I also learned that once you get into the legal system, maybe you're like a lawyer or a judge and all of that, you will not be able to do jury duty, obviously. So if you're trying to become a lawyer and you're still on that process, you're not yet one, if you get the opportunity to serve on the jury, like, you have to do it unless you have good reason why or you're excused from doing it. But it was a great experience altogether. So on day 3, when the 12 jurors were selected, the judge had her opening statement to the jury. The Crown then started with his opening statement, reading the agreed statement of facts, narrating the events, the story, the charges, and all of that. There was an examination in chief, so the Crown got to examine his witness and then provide evidences. And yeah, it was just courtroom stuff, with us sitting down there and watching these things play out in real time. What was beautiful about our process of watching this trial, I would say, is the trial judge was gracious enough to meet with us at the end of the day on day 1. So she spoke with us as students, and she happens to be my criminal law professor, so that was great to see her in another light as a justice, now your honor instead of professor. It was great to see that and just watch that whole experience, literally watching my criminal law readings come to life. That gave me a better perspective of criminal law and understanding the law in general, as practicing lawyers were doing their thing. Now on day 4, we were able to see a cross-examination, so the accused was put on the stand. We missed when his lawyer was questioning him initially via examination in chief, but we got to watch where the Crown, which is the lawyer for the state, was cross-examining him and asking him questions, and we got to see just that back and forth situation in a legal way. Got to learn new legal words, each lawyer calling themselves like my friend, and just the way they spoke and how they carried themselves. It was great to see that, pick up some styles. What do I like about this person's style versus what I don't like about this person's style, and how will I implement that if I'm eventually get to the point of being like a practicing lawyer in this field. That was great to see. Now, we also got to watch how the defense lawyer gave their closing statement and the Crown gave their closing statement to the jury. So finally, like, convincing them as to why this person is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of all the charges versus why this person is not guilty because there's doubts that has been raised on the defense side for all the counts. We got to see the introduction of evidences and how they were documented by the court registrar. We got to experience an entire system being ushered in by the court officers, learning from the deputy judge. There's just an entire machinery of the administrative state and the legal state like coming hand in hand that I learned a lot from that criminal law jury trial process. And I've spoken about the realities already of knowing what might happen beforehand, the flexibility of the schedule. It really depends on the judge and the lawyers, like the parties in the case, to kind of determine when the day will start. So there's nothing that gives you time in advance to say, oh, I'm just going to look on the website and see what's happening today. If you're watching a trial, if you're not doing a one-off, you actually have to be more present and keep going. There could be long, tiring days. You get expensive over time if you have to keep buying food, whilst you're at the courthouse during lunch break. It's a real life scary situation for the defendant because when it comes to criminal trials, your freedom is at stake, which is why, there's options for jury depending on the kind of trial. Watching the defense lawyer doing her thing, having to explain the process to the client. You have to prepare your client for cross-examination. You have to prepare witnesses, making sure that your client gets a fair trial, trying to be able to cast doubt, because once there's reasonable doubt, then the person will not be found guilty, obviously, of a charge if the jury was not able to, if the Crown is not able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they actually committed that offense. And for the Crown, sometimes you might have to delay your witnesses. The trial might not start on time. The whole process was just something that you have to be there to really, really experience. So I had so many favorite parts for attending this trial. So having the opportunity to speak with the judge, after that watching the jury selection process, watching the judge address the jury, it's just entirely long conversation and learning a lot from this process that was very, very unique to me. I've been speaking to a couple of lawyers and telling them how this experience was, and not everyone has seen a jury trial before, so that's kind of fascinating. And once you become a lawyer, obviously you become very, very busy, you're working full time, you might not have the opportunity to do this. So I'm happy that I've been able to use my time to learn about this process as well. So this is it for me. If you're going to see a public trial one of these days in person, remember, just look nice, dress nice, go on time so that you'll be sat in and waiting for the judge. Respect the rules of the court. Obviously, you can't eat there, you can't film there, you can't document there, you can't chew gum while the trial is ongoing. Like, obey the rules of the court. Ask questions if you're not sure of what's going on. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video about our first time watching a criminal law trial and watching the jury selection process at the Superior Court of Justice. I got class now, so I gotta run. To class. In a few minutes. Bye.